What's up, guys? Claudia Belafato here with JD Rachi on the Auburn Doubledays postgame show brought to you by Cayuga Community College. JD, we got a win to win the series against the Connecticut Tigers. 7-5 win tonight, and we needed it after last night's performance.
Last night was definitely tough, but the Doubledays continue to show how resilient they are in this game. They trailed 3-0, and now this is 6 straight games. So all 3 games in the West Virginia series and all 3 games in this Connecticut series in which the Doubledays have trailed by at least 1 run, and they've come back to either tie the game or win the game. So a huge comeback win for the Doubledays today. It was awesome to see them continue to be resilient. I've nicknamed them the no-quit Doubledays. I'm sure there's something else that's a little bit more alliterative, that's a little bit more fun. But the no-quit mentality, the no-quit attitude of this team has been awesome all year. That's been the big thing that Rocket has pointed out about this team.
And a good point about that is that all the hits, they came in the 5th, so they definitely didn't give it up. You know, maybe they weren't seeing it in the first few innings, but in the 5th, things started to really pick up.
They didn't give up in the game. They also didn't give up in the inning because all 4 runs in that 5th inning that ended up turning the tides and giving the Doubledays the lead were with 2 outs. First, you get a bases-clearing RBI triple from Jake Alou after the bases were loaded on 3 consecutive 2-out walks by a couple of guys. Alou gets to third, he scores 3 runs, the Doubledays take the lead, and then Albert Carrillo comes up and hits his 2nd RBI double of the game. He had an awesome day today. He continues to step up in big situations. The numbers as a whole aren't necessarily there for Albert Carrillo, but he continues to step up when the team needs him. You think of a game-tying home run against Williamsport a couple of weeks ago here at Falcon Park. Another huge RBI double today, 2 RBI doubles for him on the afternoon. He continues to be awesome.
And another name we haven't been hearing too much of, Bobby Malachy, who had a huge game today, and you got a chance to talk with him post-game.
And here is Bobby Malachy, a huge 6-out save for him today, coming in and shutting the door in the 8th and the 9th. You know, this is another game where you guys came back. What's the mentality of the bullpen, knowing that you guys are going to be crucial in trying to make a comeback?
We just got to stay focused and approach the game like it's a tie game no matter what, whether we're up 10 or not. You never know when your time's going to get called. So you just got to come out and produce when your time is shown. So
you definitely did produce today. You gave up the 1 run, but you had a little bit of a lead to be working with in that 9th inning. How important is it for you guys to get the offense going so that you guys can have a little bit more room for error like you did today?
It definitely gives us a little more comfort out there. We get a little nitpicky if we're in a closer game, but other than that, I mean, we got to battle regardless. If, like I said, if we're up 10 or nothing, but. Yeah, I think we just got to keep battling and keep our offense going.
A couple of special guests for you at the ball game today. Your dad, Bob, and your mom also in attendance. What's it like having them here and being able to pitch in front of them?
It was awesome. My dad doesn't really get to see me play. My mom's seen me play quite a bit, but with my dad working all the time, he never really got to see me play. So it was really special to have them out here and pitch well in front of them too. It was awesome.
Your dad, a former pitching coach with the Syracuse Chiefs, which used to be the AAA affiliate of the Nationals. How special is it for you to be drafted by an organization that your dad worked with so closely?
Awesome. It's definitely awesome because he had a good familiarity with it. So before I even showed up day 1, I had an idea what they expected, all their rules, just to make a good first impression because everything's about first impressions.
And your dad spent a lot of time in the major leagues with a couple of different teams. You know, he must have been crucial in not only your upbringing as a guy, and you're a great guy, we all know that, but also as a baseball player, and you're showing off the skills on the diamond as well. So how important was he, and what are some of the lessons he taught you growing up?
He taught me a lot of things, and his biggest pet peeve was always just play no matter how bad it's going. Don't make excuses. That was his number 1 thing. Don't make excuses. If I made an error in a game playing the infield, he would just say, hey, get him next time. He was never the type of dad to yell or anything. He just wanted me to perform well. The only time he'd ever yell is if I made an excuse like, oh, I saw the ball badly or anything of that nature. I heard the dog bark. Yeah, you know, you just couldn't make any excuses. You had to own up to what you did, and that really helped me now because if a guy makes an error, I'm not going to blame him. I'm just going to encourage him to stay in it for me because I need him. So I just try not to make any excuses, and if I end up losing the game for us, then it's all on me.
Major league pitcher's mindset for a guy in short season A-ball, thanks to his dad. Bobby, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Great game for Bobby Malachy tonight, but we also saw some pretty impressive pitching performances from other players tonight.
Amos Willingham was absolutely outstanding tonight for the Doubledays. He was the first man out of the bullpen on in relief of Carlos Romero, who struggled a little bit, the starter in his first game back in almost 2 weeks after he hurt his arm on a hard ground ball against State College the other week. But going back to Willingham, he was absolutely fire out of the bullpen. 3 innings of one-hit baseball, no runs across against him. He's not a guy that's going to strike out a ton of guys, but he induced weak contact, I should say, at bat in, at bat out. He was absolutely fantastic. And one other thing to note from this game were all the walks in this ball game. You look at the final ledgers, it was a 7-5 win for the Doubledays, so that's 12 combined runs between the Doubledays and the Tigers. Then you look at the amount of hits, it was 6-5 in favor of the Doubledays. That's only 11 hits. So that means there were more runs in this game than there were hits, and that's because there were combined 16 walks between these two teams, 9 for the Doubledays and 7 for the Connecticut Tigers. Lots of walks. The control and the command were not there for the pitchers, but eventually Carlos Romero figured it out a little bit toward the end of his outing. He gives up only a couple of runs, and then Bobby Malachy and Amos Willingham combined for an absolutely fantastic back end to the bullpen day for the Doubledays, and they get another win.
A series win heading onto the road, which is going to be important facing the best team in the league, the Lowell Spinners, tomorrow. What can we expect on the road?
We can expect a really tough Lowell team to be coming in a little bit angry and a little bit upset because they played the second best team in the New York Penn League, the best team in the Pinckney Division, the Batavia Muck Dogs. So they're coming on a long road trip as well, back from Batavia to Lowell. But that is neither here nor there because this is a really good team. They're going to be coming in a little bit frustrated. They dropped 2 to the Batavia Muck Dogs, picked up a win tonight in a series finale against the Muck Dogs. They're going to be coming in a little bit agitated. They haven't faced that much adversity this season. So it's either going to be they're going to come out and they're going to smack around the Doubledays because they're upset, or they're going to come out a little bit frazzled, a little bit upset, a little bit distracted because they haven't faced adversity, and the Doubledays can take advantage early on.
And we will be seeing Rocket tomorrow?
We will be seeing Rocket Wheeler. The 3-game suspension is done. Jeff Garvin did a great job, as always, the infield coordinator for the Washington Nationals, managing the last 3 games for the Doubledays, but our guy Rocket will be back tomorrow in Lowell.
Then we got to do it. Rocket Cap, what is the number one aspect to focus on tomorrow to get a win against the Spinners?
Go out and get in front early. Like I said, the Lowell Spinners are going to be coming on a longer bus ride than the Doubledays will, because the Doubledays will be going from Auburn to Lowell, and Batavia is even further west than Auburn is, so Lowell will have to make another overnight trip to get back to their home park in Massachusetts. So get out in front early. Let's get the bats going. We saw that in Game 1 against Connecticut in this series. They came out on fire in the early goings, even though they had very, very limited sleep that night after coming back from West Virginia. So get out in front early, put on the offense early. Don't have to have a comeback. Yes, comebacks are fun. Comebacks are exciting.
And they can
but
do
if
it.
you don't have to do it, that's a much, much easier outcome for the Doubledays.
All right, JD Rachi on the road tomorrow. Make sure to tune in to Finger Lakes 1 to hear that game. 7-5 win for the Auburn Doubledays tonight to grab the game series against the Connecticut Tigers. Make sure to listen to MILB.com or Finger Lakes 1 for the game, and catch us on the pregame and postgame next week. I'm Claudia Balafato, JD Rachi. Thanks for watching, guys.